Welcome back to the week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm joined by a couple ladies from the LSPA, Society of Performing Arts, and I'm going to get their names correct. I have to my far left, I have Kaylee Key, and to my immediate left, I have Anna Lee.
Right.
I got them right. Y'all thought y'all were going to trip me up there, right? Lee and Key.
Yes.
I got you. Ladies, both of you all have been on the show before, and I just want to say welcome back to the show again. And I think you all are here to kind of to help not only talk about something that's near and dear to your hearts, but bring more awareness to some issues that we have in our community that most people may not be very, very knowledgeable of. But before we get started talking about the play itself, I'm going to start by letting you ladies tell us a little bit about yourselves, even though you've been on before. So, Anna, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Anna Lee. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior in high school, and I've been doing shows with LSPA for a few years now, so I really enjoy it.
All right. And tell us a little bit about your schooling, if you don't mind.
I'm actually homeschooled,
That's right.
and I do dual enroll with West Georgia Tech, so that's been pretty interesting. But other than that, I just do my classes at home.
Absolutely. And I think your brother is also homeschooled, correct?
He is, yes. He actually graduated last year, but he was homeschooled for his whole life.
Okay. What is he doing there, if I may ask?
He's welding. He took trade school at West Georgia Tech, and he's welding for some place near West Point.
Okay. Well, very good. All right. Kaylee, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm also 17, and I'm a senior at LaGrange High School. And I've been doing shows with LSPA for a while now, too.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, ladies, what is it that keeps you coming back to do shows for LSPA?
I think the people, honestly.
Yeah,
like people,
I love the people.
Yeah, they're just so nice and welcoming, and it's like you all have something in common that you like to do, so it's really nice to share that with people, especially people like Kaylee. She's so nice and so awesome.
Okay,
So
well, very good. Does the director of this play have anything to do with that you all like it so much, you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And we know who that director is. That's none other than Amy.
Yes.
Okay. Amy has been on with us a couple of times and does a wonderful job. And then it shows in the young people like yourselves, because I know that you're just two of the many young people that are involved in the LSPA. Let me ask you, if there was a young person that perhaps had never been involved with LSPA or the arts in one way or the other, what would you ladies say to them?
I'd probably like welcome them and ask them, like if they wanted to sit in with classes or like, hang out with us or wanted to go through scripts or something, just to make them feel comfortable and like not only with us, but like with also like what we do is acting, so that they get comfortable maybe. Because sometimes when you're in a class and you don't really know anybody, it's like you don't really want to do anything. You don't want to embarrass yourself. But I just tell them that like everybody here is chill, everybody's comfortable, and just make them feel welcome. Okay,
well, very good. Anything you want to add, Kaylee?
No, she took the words out of her mouth.
All right, let's get into talking about the upcoming play. John Lennon and Me, and Kaylee has on a shirt for us there. Talk a little bit about your roles, because I know that, again, we're going to be bringing awareness to a disease that most people don't know a little bit about. Talk to us about that, if you don't mind.
Well, I play Star, and Star actually has cystic fibrosis. And it's not really a common disease, but back when the play is set in the 90s, so back then the average life expectancy was 25 years. So kind of in her mind, she doesn't think she's really going to live that long. She's already 13. So she makes like these big dramatic like things out of her imagination to kind of cope with that, and to also kind of make her life worth living. She tries to make it exciting. So that's pretty much her. She's really dramatic, and she kind of lies so that she feels better about her disease. She lies to Courtney, who was her best friend. She lies to her about her disease because she doesn't want to feel embarrassed, or like she doesn't want her to worry. So that's kind of how their friendship starts, is by lying, I guess.
Yeah.
Friendship started on a lie?
Yes.
Well, Kaylee, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about the role that you play.
I play Courtney. She's a 13-year-old at Donaldson Christian Academy, and she's a cheerleader, and she basically just fits the cheerleader stereotype. She really worries about her image and her friends more than anything. But then throughout the show, I think that Star kind of teaches her like that it's okay, that you don't always have to worry about what everyone else thinks. And I think the Star really helps her just like become a different person all around. So yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, how how relevant do you think a young person that may be going through a disease in today's society, how reserved they may be and how afraid they may want to share that with a friend? Do you think there's some comparison to today?
Yeah, I think so. Even though the show was set in the 90s and of course, things have been, discovered and different things that you can do for treatment, I still think it's the idea that like you're a kid and you're dealing with this, and I think the show is kind of nice because you watch it and you're like, maybe even you don't have a disease, maybe it's something, like personal or, mental or something like that, but it's still nice to see that someone else is dealing with something and the way that they cope with it might be the same way that you do, and it makes you feel a little less alone.
Okay, all right. And then it's so important, like you say, not to feel so alone, or at least that someone cares and,
Right.
and at least listens. Talk a little bit about, Kaylee, if you don't mind, when the play will be taking place.
So the show is going to be October 11th and 13th, and it's going to be at 7 o'clock at LSPA, and it's a dinner theater, and tickets are $8.
Okay, very good. And if you don't mind, go ahead and get on the website too, and just in case somebody want to go out on the website to get tickets,
lsparts.org.
Yeah, I'm glad you got it right. All right. Now let me ask you, because I know that there will be one night, I think, because this one, you ladies and gentlemen are taking it down to Savannah, I understand. Talk about the excitement behind that.
Well, we're taking it to GTC, which is the Georgia Theater Conference, and they have a competition there. They have it for high school and community theater, and we're doing the community theater one. So basically, we're competing with, I think, 4 or 5 other shows, and you have 10 minutes to put up your set, 60 minutes to perform the show, and then 10 minutes to take it down. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but...
And you only get to rehearse for it once.
Yes, at the actual theater, you only get to rehearse for 80 minutes.
Oh,
so,
my.
yes.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. No, of course not.
No problem.
No problem. Now let me ask you. Now I know the troupe will be going down. You guys have some volunteers, and of course your director will be going down. Now, if you had the community, what would you ask them to do to help you, ladies and gentlemen, to be successful at this event?
Well, the show's on the 11th and 13th. Hopefully, I think what we're doing is while people are watching the show, we're going to have notes for them to write, and afterward they just like hand them in or something. So that would be great if people come and support us and give us notes so that we know what to fix and what to do so we can fix it before we go to competition. And we're doing a spirit night, actually, I think on October 9th at Your Pie. And I think it starts at 5 p.m. I'm pretty sure. And if you can just come, take your family or your friends out to dinner, and that would really help support us.
Absolutely. I mean, why is art so important to you ladies too? Because I know that you both have been involved in it for a very long time, correct? Why is that so important to you all? And especially someone that's been homeschooled. Yeah. Talk about that if you don't mind, Ann.
Well, when I used to live in Warm Springs, Georgia, and we had a homeschool group there, and that was really nice. But when I moved here, there's like a big homeschool group, but it wasn't as personable. So I got into theater because my friends did theater, and it was like a really nice community. And so we're like to have an outing to just like kind of just do what you like to do, have fun, and just like get a way to express yourself a little bit, and also to see a different perspective. Because for me, it's like I don't have CF, I don't have any kind of disease or anything like that. So it's nice to see a perspective of someone who does, and to see a different life. And I think that's really why I like acting. I like going back for the people, but I also like telling stories and showing people a different way of looking at things.
Okay, very good. Kaylee?
Well,
before you start, I meant to, I don't mean to cut you off, but you also have rheumatic fever in your character that we didn't bring out. Talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
Well, they think that it's rheumatic fever when Courtney goes to the hospital at first, and then it turns out that it ends up doing something to her heart, and so she has like EKGs throughout the show. But it doesn't really talk that much about her disease, just more of like a support for people with cystic fibrosis and like a way to show that nobody's by themselves when they're going through things.
Okay. And understand, and we were talking before we came on, and I know understand there's a gentleman in our surrounding area that's going to be coming perhaps to the play that has cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that for you. What does that mean for you all?
Well, actually, the last time that we did this show, about like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, he came to one of the shows. His friends actually came, and then they brought him back. And he said that he really enjoyed the show, and it was very like true to what he was living through. And even though he was a little bit older than Star was, he said that it is hard to live with that and like try to be normal and try to just kind of forget about it for a little while. And it was really hard for him to live with that and just try to fit in. So he was talking to me about that, and it kind of gave me a new perspective on the character as well, because that was one of our last show nights. But I remember like the next night thinking about it, just being like, this is what people actually live with, you know, like there's someone actually out there who's going through this. And I think he's actually coming back to one of our preview shows, so that would be really nice to hear his, you know, his notes or stuff like that.
Very good, very good. And you know, at the young ages, you ladies and gentlemen that are there at LSPA impact lives in so many ways that you probably don't understand and probably don't recognize, but you can see from this young man coming back that something was actually said or done that impacted him. Talk about, as we get ready to close out here in just a moment or two, talk a little bit about the preparation for this play, if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit, Kaylee, how has it been as far as preparation?
So we have a few like new people that are going to be taking some of the spots, because in our original performance, a bunch of the people were seniors, and so they just graduated and went off to college, so we had to recast a couple of people. So most of it has been filling them in and giving them notes, but then it's also just been really hectic with schedules and everything, because I know that I'm really busy and I feel like I barely have any time throughout the day, but even if we have like 15 minutes here or an hour here, like anything helps. And so it's been great. And I think it's really helped us with the whole like 10 minutes to set up, run through it for 60 minutes, then take down in 10 minutes. So.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All that on top of school and everything else that you ladies have going on, right? No pressure, once again. No
Absolutely
pressure.
not.
No pressure. Piece of cake. Well, ladies, if you don't mind, Anna, if you don't mind, tell us again when the play is going to be held, and then the ticket cost as we close out, okay?
So it's going to be October 11th and 13th at 7 p.m. and tickets are $8, and you can get them at lsparts.org.
All right, well, very good. Well, ladies, I know that once again the community will come out and support you because it's a very worthwhile cause. Bring awareness to cystic fibrosis and also any other disease that young people may be facing that may not necessarily be, you know, that topic that they want to talk about. So we just want to say thank you both for what you do and all the other actors and actresses there at LSPA. And we definitely wish you the very best and safe travels to Savannah.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment.